Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. I really think The Rock has let us down. And I mean us, I mean the fans. Let's go through a timeline of events and see how we got here today. So in January 6th, on the debut episode of Raw on Netflix, The Rock comes out and he acts very strange. He acts all corporate, TKO, babyface, sort of bubbly, putting people over, talking about how much he loves Cody Rhodes and all this shit. And fans are just confused because the last time we saw The Rock, he was the final boss, just absolutely bloodying and beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes. The final boss was awesome. The build up to WrestleMania 40 was awesome. I mean, the last two guys to pin Cody Rhodes in the middle of the ring have been The Rock and John Cena. And so then we see him come out on January 6th in the, again on the debut episode of Raw on Netflix, and it's just strange. It's just strange. It's like, it's really, The Rock's behavior has been him slapping the face of the fans, telling us that it's all just dumb, it's all just a work, none of it makes sense, why should we believe in any of it? And we all know at this point that it's a work, it's predetermined, things happen backstage, they're manufactured. But the whole point of watching professional wrestling or WWE is to suspend our disbelief. And we don't want to be punched in the face or slapped in the face by that fact every time we see a superstar that we're trying to invest our time and emotion in. And so on January 6th, when he comes out and does this weird sort of corporate promo where he talks about how much he loves Cody Rhodes and they're all boys and they're friends, people in their minds are trying to think, okay, what's The Rock trying to set up here? Because we're always trying to think of these angles that to make it make sense logically for us to either boo the final boss character or whatever the case may be. So that was a weird interaction and it started off this sort of journey of events that lead us to now where none of it makes sense and The Rock has totally let us down as fans. Then we come to the next appearance he had, I believe it was in February, where he did that whole angle where he wants to take the soul of Cody Rhodes. Again, the promo, the interaction didn't really make a lot of sense in the moment. I was watching it with my wife at the time, who was definitely not a WWE fan, and she was like, I didn't understand that. It didn't make any sense. It was weird. It was long and whatever. But as fans, we bought in. We're like, ooh, this could be very, very interesting. I bought in. I talked about it on the show a lot. Ooh, the soul angle. This is very cool. The Rock doesn't want championships. The final boss character wants someone's soul. That makes sense. We can own them and for him to do their bidding for them and all these sorts of things. As fans, we were just trying to logically connect the dots to buy into this thing. And then we come to Elimination Chamber, and we have one of the most iconic moments in WWE history where John Cena, a babyface of 25 years, the face of the company, the GOAT in my opinion, turns heel for the bidding of The Rock. We see Cody Rhodes stand up for himself. He tells The Rock to go fuck himself. A great moment. Travis Scott is there, weirdly, still didn't understand that dynamic and why that's there, but he's there, and then John Cena turns heel. And we're all in. We're all invested in this angle. Who's The Rock going to put in his group? We have The Rock stole John Cena's soul. Now, whose soul is he going to get? Is he going to get Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Seth Rollins? Who's going to be in this group? How's Travis Scott play a part? Oh my God, this is all super exciting heading into WrestleMania 41, which could be huge. We feel like The Rock has two big matches left in his career that he's maybe building towards with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Maybe we get to see some glimmer of this, some build of this heading into WrestleMania 42 or 43, and then poof, nothing. The Rock doesn't show up at any point during the road to WrestleMania. Zero. Doesn't show up to WrestleMania, doesn't post about it, doesn't talk about it, doesn't tweet about it, doesn't do anything. But on the road to WrestleMania, what does he do? He keeps telling the WWE fans that he loves playing the final boss character. We don't want to hear that shit. Talk about or tweet about anything else, your movies, all those stuffs. Yes, people see them as roles, but when you get and step into a WWE ring, the WWE fans don't see that as a role. They see that as you now. We're so good at doing that, at trying to suspend our belief and see you as you are in the moment. We're booing John Cena. We know he's a heel. Ultimately, we know John Cena is a great, fantastic guy, the Make-A-Wish king. I fucking love John Cena, but while he's in a WWE ring right now, I am booing him because that is my role as a good fan, as suspending my belief, as trying to invest as much as my time and effort into this thing as possible. And The Rock keeps tweeting about how the final boss character is so fun and he loves playing this role, and it's just like, again, slapping the WWE fans in the face, telling them this is not real, no matter what. And it just doesn't make sense to me. I get that the business has been exposed, right? All these things we know about the predetermined, and people use the word fake all the time, and it's scripted, and yes, and yes, and yes, of course, right? The same when we watch an Avengers movie, but when we see, Iron Man fly, we don't want to see the string attached to his fucking head that we know it's being maneuvered in the back. He's not actually flying. We don't want to see that. We want to invest in the moment, and The Rock has just not done a good job of doing that as he's become this like super big star. And so then we hear absolutely nothing from him at WrestleMania, and then the internet and the wrestling fans go absolutely nuts and crazy about the finish to the John Cena match. Again, we love John Cena. So fucking happy he won his 17th world title. I think it could have been better. A lot of people think it could have been better. And now TKO wants to do damage control. And so now they call The Rock, say you got to go on Pat McAfee and explain the situation. And then things just get worse. He keeps talking out of his ass. He keeps putting his foot in his mouth. He said he wouldn't have made that decision. Triple H made a bad choice. Well, why weren't you there then? Why weren't you there? You had Travis Scott there. Travis Scott is not a wrestler. No wrestling fans like Travis Scott. He might have great music. Doesn't matter. He's not. It doesn't make sense for him to be there. The Rock should have been there. You stole John Cena's soul. You were the one that turned him heel, that convinced him that going heel was the right move because his message meant something. The Rock says that he doesn't think John Cena is being a bad guy. He thinks John Cena is telling the truth. He's telling the truth because of you, Rock. And so he wasn't there at all. He says Triple H's decisions was bad. He's exposing everything about the business. Then he says, someone called him and says, we should really run with this, the taking of the soul angle. He's like, you got it. But then he's like, he's not coming back. He is coming back. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. And he says the main reason why he didn't want to be at WrestleMania 41 because he didn't want to take the spotlight away from John Cena. That's exactly what he's doing by not being there. That's exactly what he has done by not being there, by not tweeting, posting, doing anything about it, just basically ignoring the fact that one of the biggest shows ever is happening and John Cena is going to become a 17-time world champion. He's ignoring the fact. Then after John Cena wins, no one's talking about John Cena. They're talking about why The Rock wasn't there and what was the whole point of this angle. Then we learn that the reason why he got the call to do this thing at Elimination Chamber is because the ticket sales were down. So he made up this whole soul angle out of his ass and then didn't finish it, didn't actually go through with the thing, which could have been amazing. I know we have this Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman group. We could have had them be going up against this sort of Dwayne The Rock Johnson, John Cena, Drew McIntyre-esque group, but nothing happened. It was just flying by the seat of their pants and it didn't culminate into anything important. And then The Rock sort of going on this PR trail trying to cover his ass, but then saying even more stupid shit that doesn't make sense. Like saying he didn't want to take the spotlight away from John. We are taking the spotlight away from him by not being there, by not finishing your story, by not following through logically on the thing that makes sense, and then commenting on people's Instagram posts about how they felt, how they feel about the whole situation and telling them to calm down. It's all just to work. We love this shit. We love this shit. This is important to us. And yeah, it's not our whole life, obviously, and it's not your whole life either, The Rock. Obviously, you have so much other stuff going on, but let us be invested in this thing and don't keep telling us and repeatedly telling us over and over and over and over again that it's not real. We want to believe that it's real while we're watching it. Just like if we're watching a Superman or a superhero movie or Avengers movie, we don't want to know that it's not real while we're watching it. At the end, yeah, we want to hear about the backstories and all these other sorts of things that go into making the movie, but while we're doing it, we don't want to be told it's not real. That ruins the idea of it. And so I don't understand why WWE is doing this show on Netflix about really peeling back the curtain, about writing the stories and the scripts. And so you're going to get what Triple H seems to not like, more critics. Because if you show them everything, if you show everyone how the sausage is made, you're just going to create more critics. Because now we know how things are made. So I didn't like the way that story was written. Why isn't he selling better? Why isn't he doing this better? That should have been written better in the script and the story and the line. Because now you're going to get all sorts of critics because you're showing them every single insight of the business. So the thing that you don't want to happen, Triple H, is happening because you want to do all this content on Netflix when you should not always pull back the curtain all the way. Yeah, you can give people little glimpses, but now when someone gets a pile driver in the middle of the ring, they're going to know, oh, he's just selling. There's no real injury. He's going to take a break for 3 weeks because he needs a break and then he's going to come back. Ooh, I didn't really like the way that story ended. They should have wrote a better script. Not that, oh my God, that was so awesome. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen. I want to invest as a fan. You're creating critics by giving them all of this information. And so the thing you don't want to happen, Triple H, is happening because of you, and The Rock is also double stamping that. So I don't understand any of these things that are happening. This is a rant about The Rock. This is a rant about us fans wanting the best possible thing to happen and The Rock totally letting us down this WrestleMania season, and maybe he'll pick it back up, maybe he won't. I don't really have any high hopes. I'm putting all my energy and investment into the superstars that show up every single week, every single time, like this great storyline with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman, and what's going to happen with John Cena and Randy Orton and all these sorts of things that are going to happen. I'm investing my time and energy in that because I still love this thing, but I wanted to get this off my chest just in case anyone agrees with me or you don't agree with me. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Then like this video and share it directly with The Rock so he knows exactly how we feel. Then subscribe to the channel, and yeah, we're going to keep growing this community together. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.